Soto. You got a dad in there, and then you got the great pipe shot master, Dave Joust, who puts it right where Pete Alonso wants it.
Well, and I think about, too, just like the pressure that goes on the BP pitchers. And you don't talk enough about it, but I was talking to Julio Rodriguez, and he was saying, you know, Franmil Peña, who he brought in from the Dominican, he's like, the reason I love him is because he throws me up and in every single time. And I was like, you think he can do that here on this stage? And he's like, oh, that's right. Like, we didn't even think about how there'd be more people. Like,
I mean, this has really become like strategy. I mean, there was a time where the same guy would throw to half the field because they didn't bring anybody. And it's like, oh, who's random I can get to throw. That was actually Dave Joust in Fenway back in 1999. And now it's like, well, I'm going to put some thought into this. I don't trust my cousin. I know Corey Seager's dad is going to do it, but we've seen family members in the past not set up their members for success. And now it's like, no, I want a professional baseball player. I want someone who can do this.
Pete bagged his cousin after a win. So he went and got a pro. Jess, your bracket. Who you got?
all right, well, the first round I got Schwarber over Pujols.
Yep.
Soto over Ramirez. So that's your second round. And then Alonso, of course, is going to be Acuna. And then J-Rod over Seager. And then getting into the finals, I've got Pete Alonso against Juan Soto. And Pete, I know, and I hate saying this because it's like, well, yeah, duh. He's already won two. But, I mean, come on, guys. Like, the numbers are in his favor. He's the guy that prepped.
Mi gente, lo que puedan apoyarme con una suscripción en el canal de YouTube. Lo que pasa es que YouTube tiene unos requisitos que hay que llegar a 1000 suscriptores. Y al momento tengo 950. O sea, me faltarían 50. Por eso les pido lo que puedan y deseen, solamente con suscribirse, ya me estarían ayudando.
Partially just because I cannot bring myself to pick the chalk and say that Pete's going to win 3 times in a row. I'm going to regret this in about 3 hours, but for now I'm going with Schwarber.
Watch Pujols win this thing, and we all just have egg on our face. I picked the same first round as you all did too, but I do think Pete Alonso is going to win it again. I feel like it's his destiny, and he could rattle off like 8 straight of these things. So I have the same first round we talked about, but I have Alonso over Schwarber.
Space to be in. Like, he has thought about how am I going to win this. Like, he is built for this better than anybody else.
Yeah, and honestly, like, we saw this last year, but you talk about that mental space. He always has that song in his head. He's kind of rocking out, and then he gets into that rhythm where you can't stop him. But I do think Kyle Schwarber is going to give him a run for his money. I like it. All 3 of us feel like it's going to get down to the 2 of them. I don't think it's going to be a huge for sure for Pete Alonso.
Pete Alonso trying to make it 3 in a row. He is the 2 seed. Kyle Schwarber on the left there is the 1 seed. Albert Pujols is here to share one last home run derby. He finished as the runner-up in 2003. We are just around the corner from baseballs flying everywhere at long distances. Next, we welcome you to the 2022 T-Mobile Home Run Derby. Dodger Stadium will be filled with flying baseballs in mere moments.
What is going on, everybody? It is Trey with Half Street High Heat, and today I thought it would be fun to show you guys what my All-Star ballot looks like currently. Now, the All-Star game is about a month away at this point, so this ballot is definitely going to change before then. But you know what? I thought it'd be fun, and I can always do an update video right before the All-Star game. If I feel like it. So anyways, I'm gonna just go over my picks and some honorable mentions as well. So let's get into it. Okay, at catcher, at my backstop in the American League, I'm going with Alejandro Kirk, and in the National League, I'm going with Wilson Contreras. Alejandro Kirk in the American League is my clear favorite right now. Jose Trevino is kind of close-ish second, but right now it's got to be Alejandro Kirk. The dude has been absolutely raking. He's currently slashing 304, 395, 473 as a catcher. That's a 148 WRC plus. and he's also an excellent defensive catcher. Blocking balls in the dirt, pitch framing, throwing out base runners, you name it. Alejandro Kirk can do it behind the plate. For the National League spot, it was a little bit tougher for me because I really value catcher defense. And right now, Wilson Contreras is actually at a negative defensive value for catchers, but his offensive output has just completely superseded that. Wilson Contreras has produced 16.8 offensive FWAR this season, and the next closest is Kirk at 9.5. So he is completely blowing everybody else out of the water. Double-digit walk rate, hitting for power, hitting for average, pretty much doing everything offensively that you would ask of any player, and he's doing it from the catcher position. Okay, at first base, we have Paul Goldschmidt from the National League and Ty France from the American League. Paul Goldschmidt is currently the most valuable offensive player via Fangraphs at this current point in the season. He is slugging over 600. He has a 189 WRC plus. He has a 417 on-base percentage. Now, this level of play is probably not sustainable, but I would say a 150 WRC plus probably is for him. And oddly enough, his defense has been really not good, which is weird for him because Paul Goldschmidt's a Gold Glover out there, so that's going to come back around as well. On the American League side, Ty France has just been overall solid. It's a little bit weaker on the American League side for first baseman, but Ty France is definitely the clear-cut choice. At second base, we have some interesting choices that I was just not at all anticipating coming into this season, and that's Jeff McNeil from the National League and Andres Jimenez from the American League. McNeil is more of
piece in Los Angeles where one star would face off with another star in black and white and send baseballs out of ballparks. 25 years later, baseball started to introduce a home run derby at the All-Star game, and here are your competitors for this extravagant, power-filled thrill of 2 hours of television and existence here at Dodgers. Kyle Schwarber, Albert Pujols, Juan Soto, Jose Ramirez, the other side of the bracket. And we thank you for joining us for our coverage on the StatCast side. It will be fire. We can say Mike Petriello, Jess Mendoza, Jason Zanetti along with you. And we are excited once again to bring you the T-Mobile Home Run Derby, this time from Dodger Stadium, which hasn't seen an all-star game in 42 years. And Mike and Jess, I know we all enjoy to the hilt this event every year, but Pete Alonso has made himself the hunted in this event. So you think about everybody that's in that group of 7 that hasn't beaten him and what they want to do in this event.
There's only been 3 times that we've seen a back-to-back winner. Never has it been done 3 times in a row. And of course, the great Ken Griffey Jr., the only 3-time winner. And that's what Pete Alonso is trying to put himself into that category. And he just absolutely embraces this, understands the moment, and he's been king of it.
So as you watch this telecast along with us, over on ESPN, you'll see the traditional coverage. Here on this telecast, we will have numbers at the bottom of the screen. You'll be able to follow along with where the home runs go, the average amount of swings per round, exactly where the baseballs have been pitched. Mike, we're going to break everything down to its component parts and enjoy the baseline numbers of the home run derby.
Yeah, we really are, and obviously it's a home run derby, so that lends itself pretty well to how hard does he hit it, how high, how far. But when you go a little bit deeper, there's some validity in trying to get to who's going to win. How does the ballpark play? Who is most advantaged by the way the ballpark plays? How fast are they swinging? That's a new thing we're going to get into in a little bit. It's going to be a lot of fun. We've done this for a couple of years now, and I think this is the one I'm most excited about.
Why is that?
Well, partially it's a Dodger Stadium, right? Is there like a better set for Dodger Stadium? Pete Alonso's trying to go for 3 years in a row. You got Pujols here. Julio Rodriguez is arguably the most exciting young player in the game right now. And it's Dodger Stadium. How could you want to be anywhere else?
I feel like this is our best group of guys. And honestly, a lot of times you get 1 name, 2 names. We have Albert Pujols at 42, and I get like
to say about why Kyle Schwarber?
You know, Jessica and I both love him. Our guys have got the most home runs per plate appearances. He hits the ball the hardest in the air. He's got the most barrels per plate appearances. He's my choice. He's perfect for this.
It's the 2022 T-Mobile Home Run Derby, and we listen in here at Dodger Stadium to the ovation for all these guys, and then we will take in our national.
For our national anthem, performed this evening by a native Californian, singer-songwriter, accompanied by Dodger Stadium organist Dieter Rule. Please welcome multi-platinum artist Conan Gray.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
That will not be our final flyover here at Dodger Stadium tonight. One of the great moments in Major League Baseball will happen.
Utility player this season. He's played 4 different positions, and there's no utility position in the All-Star game, which honestly I think there should be at this point with the amount of guys that are doing that. But McNeil is listed as a second baseman, and just based on his hitting, you don't even have to worry about his defensive positioning. His hitting has been good enough for him to be an All-Star starter. He is doing what Jeff McNeil did before last year, where he had a weird season where he seemed to try and pull everything. He's back to spreading the ball all around, and it makes him impossible to shift in the final year of the full shifting, and that is very helpful because teams are definitely shifting a lot this year because they know it's going away. And Andres Jimenez from the American League, that's a big surprise for me. I thought that he would end up being a solid player when I first saw him break into the league with the 2020 Mets. His glove has never been a question. He is one of the elite defenders in the infield in this league, but the bat has really impressed. Now he is rocking a 367 BABIP, which is not going to sustain, but he's also hitting over 300, so it's very, very doable for him to be like a 275 average guy, and if he's going to slug 500, then this guy's going to be a star. Okay, now we have shortstop, and it's a little bit weird. So for shortstops, I have Tommy Edman as my National League candidate and Xander Bogaerts as my American League candidate. So Tommy Edman is a utility guy, sort of, but he's played mostly 2 positions this season, and that is second base at 48 games and shortstop at 27 games. Yet he's listed as a shortstop on the All-Star ballot for some reason. Now, either way, I think whether it's second base or shortstop, Tommy Edman's got to be a starter in the National League this season. You know, I'd put Tommy Edman as like a true 4-tool talent He's got some pop, but it's not really something you expect from him, but you'll definitely take it from him. However, the fielding is unbelievable. He can pretty much field any position out there on the diamond, and he is a burner on the base paths. He's already got 15 steals this year. And in the American League, it's Xander Bogaerts, and it's pretty much not close. You know, a couple weeks ago it might have been, but TA is currently, actually he just came back from it being hurt, and he's only played 42 games. And Jeremy Pena has been in and out with some injuries as well, but he was really impressed at the beginning of the year. But because Xander Bogaerts has been able to play the entire first half, he has become the clear front runner at shortstop in the American League. He's currently slashing 335, 397, 486 for a 150 WRC plus. And the best part is he's actually really gotten better on defense. I don't know if this is just a temporary thing for him and he might regress back to the mean, but right now he's defending at a high level. And that's always been kind of a bugaboo with Xander Bogaerts, is that he's not the best defender, but currently he is middle of the pack for shortstops. And when you're hitting like this and you're given just decent enough defense, this is an extremely valuable player. All right, for third baseman, I have Manny Machado representing the National League and Jose Ramirez representing the American League. Red Sox fans, I'm really, really sorry that I couldn't include Devers as a starter, but right now it's Jose Ramirez, and I understand the argument, and there's absolutely an argument to be made with Devers, but J-Ram is doing something that no player really does anymore, and that's completely cut out the strikeout. He is only striking out at a 7.5% clip. 7.5% strikeout rate for a dude who homers a lot, who hits for power. He's slugging over 600. He has a 187 WRC plus. Normally when you have a guy who strikes out this little, it's because they're an ultra contact, ultra average guy who doesn't walk. Jose Ramirez walks. Jose Ramirez hits for power, and he only strikes out 7.5% of the time. It's absolutely ridiculous. He's also a 5-tool player. He's got 11 steals. He's a great defender at third base, although this year he's been a little bit down. That'll come back up. I promise he's a great defender there.